And I'm happy to announce that Councillor Myla Arceno is elected Mayor for the municipal year 2023-2024.
The Chamber, please stand.
Good evening. I, Myla Arceno, having been elected to the office of Mayor of Stevenage Borough Council, declare that I take that office upon myself, and I will duly and faithfully fulfill the duties of it according to the best of my judgment and ability. Thank you. I am happy to announce that my consort will be my son John Arceno, who is always my #1 fan. May I ask John to come forward to the lectern by the public gallery and be presented with his chain and badge of office by the 2022-2023 Mayoress Kathy Beebe. Again, good evening. Thank you, everyone, especially Mayor Margaret. You're there, Mayor Margaret, Mayoress Kathy Beebe. My fellow councilors, let me check if I know all your names. Councilor Tom, Councilor Jules, Councilor Stephen, and Councilor Robin, and Councilor Andy, Councilor Graham, and Baroness Sharon Taylor, our new elected councilor, Councilor Mason, Councilor Claire, my own councilor, Councilor Ellie, the newly elected Councilor of Bedrol, and Councilor Ann, and Councilor Forhad Chaudhry, a newly elected councilor, and of course, Councilor Ada Mitchell, and of course, our Mayor of 2022-2023, Mayor Margaret, and Councilor Graham, Councilor Alex, Councilor Brett, and Councilor Phil Beebe, Councilor Michael Downing, Councilor Nas, our newly elected councilor, my fellow councilor of Martinswood, Councilor Caroline, and Councilor Kay Connor, Councilor Maureen, and Councilor Jim, and of course, Councilor Chris, and Councilor Sarah, and Councilor Rob, and of course, all the executives here, Councilor Lou, Councilor Jackie, Councilor Sandra, and of course, thank you for your nomination, Councilor Richard Henry, and Councilor Simon Speller, Councilor Lloyd, my fellow councilors in Martinswood, Councilor Jeanette, and of course, Councilor Joan. And of course, we don't have here Councilor Wendy and Councilor Lynn. So I'm so pleased that I know all your names as your mayor. For all the officers, guests, especially my guests, I know all your names, but I probably have to mention it later. Okay. I know we're waiting for another one. I have a cousin here who came all the way from America. I think she's not here yet, so she's not. And my husband is here, Marisol, Father Nigel, Nancy, Lisa, Tess, Jim, and my work colleague, Judith. Yeah, on behalf of my manager. And of course, all the representative of my charities. And of course, Cheryl, Ruth, Maria, and Brian, and someone who is responsible why I'm sitting here, Jim Callahan, and my fellow councilors last year, Teresa Callahan. So thank you all for coming here to support me, and of course, everyone who were involved who made this evening possible. My thoughts are with Michelle today. And thank you, John, for your support and as a model counselor for me. May you rest in peace. It is my great honor to be sitting in front of you and speaking to you all here in the chamber, and to all whoever is watching the link of our Stevenage Borough Council live stream. And shout out to my Zumba group. I'm sure they are shouting the various Philippine news channels, my friends and families around the world. I hope, John, you did not forget that you have to send them the link. What an amazing privilege it is indeed that I am given this opportunity to serve our beautiful Stevenage as your town mayor. I am given this gift of servitude, and I will give it back with full of gratitude. I will give my best to serve, and at the same time will enjoy my role as a public servant. Who would have thought that my dream as a little girl to be a mayor of our town, Pulupandan? So I'm sure my town, Pulupandan, will hear this. But I did not become a mayor in Pulupandan, but here in beautiful Stevenage. As our parish priest, Father Nigel, said last weekend, somewhere along this line, be careful of what you wish for, as dreams do come true. I will not elaborate on it, Father Nigel. My dad and my older brother, Toto Petboy, who recently passed, are both surely cheering up there in heaven. Growing up, I have them too who always encouraged and motivated me with reassurance that I am doing very well. And with the guidance from my mom, my first teacher, and the reminders with our faith, value, and humility, with my two younger sisters who looked at me as their role model. I came to Stevenage, as Councillor Henry already mentioned, in 2003 with my 5-year-old son, John. He just turned 5, who is now my consort, of course, to join my husband, Joseph, who was hired by East and North NHS Trust, East and North Hearts NHS Trust. We thought we will be here for a few years. We said only for a few years. But here we are, 20 years on. We feel in love with our life here, with the people, communities, our work, schools, the churches, and friends. And most importantly, we did not just feel in love. Most importantly, we feel loved. Stevenage is our home. I am a true testimony of what you can be as someone who came in Stevenage for economic reason and made it to where I am standing, or actually sitting right now, as the first citizen of our beloved town. And that is because of the opportunity, support, and love that I receive together with my family from everyone in our community. From the NHS, where I work, in Lister and QE2, especially the therapy team and my cardiac rehab team, and the multidisciplinary teamwork colleagues. The churches, St. Joseph's Church, my parish, Transfiguration Church, and St. Hilda's. The schools, St. Vincent de Paul School and John Henry Newman. and various clubs that my children attended, especially my son's football club, Simon's Green Football Club. So shout out to Tony and Lisa. I will tell them that I mentioned them. The different organizations, our neighbors and individuals, and of course, the strong bayanihan spirit of the Filipino community, not here just in Stevenage, but also around the UK. That opportunity, support, and love are not a one-way system. How you embrace them is up to you. And that's how it matters. For me, I took them, I embraced them, and give them back to my community with added special and uniqueness in me. I gave more than what I received. With the right attitude, good support, the perfect timing, sincerity, and passion to serve, and most importantly, resilience. Who knows what someone can become? Here I am, where I am right now, because I live in Stevenage. I always say I did not choose to live in Stevenage, but it was Stevenage who actually chose us because we did not choose. The NHS gave us to live here, told us that it is Stevenage where you have to live. And may those who are listening or watching or will watch in the future, no matter what your background, your status, your beliefs, hopefully you will say, oh yeah, if Myla can do it, why can't I? But no matter where I am and what will be my role in this chamber and our town, I will always be that same Myla. As Councillor Barker said, I give cheerfulness, I smile. So I will still be the same. I will be that same Myla. I will continue with my role as an NHS specialist physiotherapist in cardiac rehab for 3 days in a week. And my main role is I actually prescribe exercises. I advocate physical activities. So that's why I just remember that during the walking festival, I did not just open it, but I walked 4 miles. And when I opened the tennis court in Chapel, it's not only opening it, but I played with Richard against my son and Rob as well. So I always make sure that I want to promote and be an advocate of physical activities. I always say in my lecture, if somebody can just discover that if you put the exercises in a pill or in a tablet and everyone will take it, I think that would be the cure or the prevention of most of the medical condition. But unfortunately, we don't have smart enough yet to do it. So going back, I will be that same person in my Zumba and fitness class, and I will be that mother and wife who still have to do the housework, Daddy, walk the dog, and a loving but strict mommy. At one point there, I think, Councillor Henry, you almost scared my husband because when you said you'll be very busy. Yeah, I think you almost scared him. Yeah. I was not supposed to say it, but probably I have to insert it here because I feel like I feel it. My husband actually initially didn't want me to run, but it was because of course we are on our retirement age and he wants us to travel. He always almost traveled 60 countries, but I think for me almost 50. But it was my son, John, who is my consort, who actually said, Mommy, don't follow what Daddy is saying to you. He is just your husband. Yeah. And husband don't rule or control your life. And I have to say, thank you, Jeb. Thank you, John, for saying it. And thank you, Joseph, Daddy Joseph, for actually giving way. That someone, I will still be the same, who will still be at church reading. So don't worry, Father Nigel, I will still do the church reading, giving communion, as a Eucharistic minister and teaching the children to pray. We know it, especially for all women, a special mention to Teresa Callahan, as a woman in public service. We know how and what it takes. So how did I become involved? Why am I here? It all started with our church activities. I taught my daughter Mary and her friends to perform the Filipino dance. The Irish Network, I hope there's an Irish network here. The Irish Network of Stevenage, Peggy and Luke, introduced me to the Stevenage World Forum. I know Kate is here. And Sherma, may she rest in peace, Michelle and Kate. So for a few years, we have been involved in performing on World Forum event and Stevenage Day. So if you look back, I'm actually performing and dancing. If you will look at the paper on last year's Stevenage Day, no one knew that I'm actually on the front page. It was me dancing, that carnival dance, but no one knew it was me on the front page. And Stevenage Day, we're performing and other charities fundraising. And even my husband organized the Barrio Fiesta Festival for us to encourage other communities too. I've met many councillors during this year. Mayor Pickersgill, Mayor John Lloyd, I also met. Mayor Simon Speller, Mayor Howard Burrell, rest in peace. Pam Stewart, Mayor Margaret Notley, I met you on your first mayoral role. And there came a conversation, and many more, Baroness Sharon Taylor and Jackie. And there came a conversation with Michelle, Richard, and Maureen that helped me to decide to be involved in the council. So there are many individuals and groups that are instrumental for me to be here. So please allow me to give my thanks. To all of you, my fellow councillors, especially those who have been here with servitude of long years. I have been a councillor from 2021, and I know how much you are giving to our community. We have to love what we are doing with our role as a councillors for us to make it here. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy, and we don't have the answers. Or if we have the answer, it's not something that the resident may want to hear. I know it's a challenge, but because 39 councillors, we are here and we find ways to find the answer with the support, as always, with our officers and our executives. So thank you to all the executives since I became a councillor, Matt, Tom, Richard, and Claire. The hardworking officers, the dedicated team and staff who are there behind the scene, especially the Your Say team. And I have to say Chris White, because he seems to be very quick when every time I email. With all the support that I have since I am elected is a significant factor why I am here sitting in front of you. My special thanks to Teresa Callahan and Lloyd Briscoe, who made me feel that I will be a good mayor. And that invitation from Councillor Sandra Barr, when she was a mayor at some of the civic event in Cheshunt, I love it. I felt connected and made me think I can be one too. So thank you for all your support. Councillor Lou, case you were the one who actually made me elected with Jim, Councillor Lou Rosati, Bill, and Jim Callahan. And of course, a special thanks to Baroness Sharon Taylor. That's why on my mayoral year, although I have John, my son, as my consort, I will also invite other councillors, community leaders, and deserving individuals to join me on some of the many engagements that I have to go because I know John cannot keep up with me. And I hope that for the councillors, especially the new one, may that little experience, when you go with me, and exposure might grow into something encouraging. And thank you as well to those communities who are always there, who always give their support far and near. the Filipino community here in Stevenage and worldwide. You are all a part of me, and I am grateful that you are always there for me in prayers, thoughts, and in any support that I needed. The Philippine Theatre UK. I was the managing director of the Philippine Theatre UK, but I have to give it up for this year because I know I can't keep it. I can't keep up the role. The European Network of the Filipino Diaspora, the Filipina Women Network, the news magazine where I write my regular articles and columns if you want to read its Roots and Wings, and the One Philippines News magazine. To the many officers and staff, especially those who are behind the scene, who always give their best for our community and town. This evening will not be like this if not with all the efficiency and the hard work of those people behind the scene. The mayor's office, Tracy. Thank you so much, Tracy. I know it will be a long year. Chloe and Sheila. Ian and Lisa are Democratic Service Officers. I will guarantee you all I will be needing your help and support regularly. To all my NHS colleagues and managers, especially my first managers in 2003, they are mostly a retired Fiona Liddell, Sarah, and my seniors Wendy and Mary Burton. And to the many colleagues, students on clinical placement, and even my patients who helped me grow as a clinician, as a professional, and as an individual. My current manager, Susan Taylor, who unfortunately cannot come here but has a representative, Judith. My cardiac rehab team, Jane, Tash, Gurjet, and Caroline, who are being prepared all this time and being understanding with my busy schedule this year, and so efficient that we have plans in place when I'm needed with my mayoral year on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, because that's my clinic time. To all the educators and mentors and my classmates, you have all molded me, even at the young age, to be an effective leader. Being a school president in elementary, high school, and college made me have a good practice then. And I know it's not about me, as my son always say, it's not about me all the time, but it's the teamwork that matters. To my family, many thanks to my husband, Joseph, who is always there for me for the last 25 years of our marriage. We just celebrated our 25 years of marriage. Yes, 25 years is tough and challenging, but rewarding. To Tita Babes, who's here, was always there for us. The saying that in every success of a man, there is always a beautiful, supportive woman. Mine is the other way around. Mine, I have this beautiful man. I would like to give a big applause to my husband. Thank you, Daddy. I know it's challenging being me as a wife. You have I know. Thank you so much for being there. When Father Nigel gave our 25th year wedding anniversary mass, I think you said it's the man beneath my wings. Is that correct, Father Nigel? And even the Pope gave us a blessing and a big certificate. So how amazing is that? I really felt blessed. So thank you so much. To my children, John and Mary, who are both a reflection of me and my husband, Mommy will be very busy, but I know you are always there for me. And my chosen charities for this year. So I have chosen these charities: the Douglas Drive Daycare Center, the Red Shed. I think Rosemary from Douglas Drive Care Center is here. Rosemary, thank you. I haven't met Rosemary in person. The Red Shed, Sue Harvey is here. Heartswise, Jillian is here. Jill, I actually went to Heartswise activities, St. David's Day. I learned a lot. And it's a very, very good activities. And Stevenage World Forum, I think Kate is here. So these are the charities that I have chosen. I have chosen this after a long brainstorming and a well-thought idea of making Stevenage a dementia-friendly town. And I discussed it with Teresa and I think with few councillors. Dementia has been affecting many people here in Stevenage and worldwide. I think I have these statistics here. The statistics that I have, this is from the Stevenage Borough website. In England at this time, there is 770,000 diagnosed with dementia, but this is with diagnosis. We don't know whether there are still many who's not diagnosed clinically. In Hertfordshire, we have 16,000. In Stevenage, we have 1,100, but this is above 65 years old. So we don't have the statistics yet for those who's been diagnosed under 65. So here in Stevenage, not only those individuals with diagnosis, but also dementia has been affecting many people here in Stevenage and worldwide. Not only those individuals with diagnosis, but also their family, friends, community, and our society. A simple awareness and understanding will make a big difference. Dementia is an impairment in cognition. When you say dementia, it's just the impairment, that's not the diagnosis. It is an impairment in cognition, emotions, and actions. And it has many types, which probably most of you have heard. Alzheimer's, vascular, the Lewy body, frontotemporal, mixed, and there are others. Sorry, I will not give you the lecture today about dementia. My vision is not just to raise awareness and raise funds for these charities. What I would like it to be is a cohesive initiatives and project for as many organizations as we can get involved, because all together we can do this. I thank Lorna Warmald, our SBC staff, who is working with me on this initiative. We will link with schools for education of our young people, tap the NHS for their specialty to help with training and education, work with commercial and non-commercial establishments so we can make our town accessible for our residents with dementia, their carers and family to enjoy, and also the care home residents and care home staff. Maybe awarding budgets to a dementia-friendly places around our town, talking with the planning officers, especially with our regeneration project. I'm sure that simple color that a dementia can actually see, because without those color, they will not be able to see where they are walking. So that simple thing that we can link with our planning officers, linking with university for an updated research. There are so many things we can do. And I aim that this initiative is not just on my mayoral year, but may it will be sustainable, that I will keep involved in after a year. And lastly, you will be glad, lastly, for this year, with my role, may my actions, my words, and my decisions will be a reflection of my faith and value. Thank you very much.